right, welcome back to the O&G StrikeZone. Bryan, Kelvin, and now Rattler Nation. Joining us is a guard from Detroit, Michigan, via Syracuse University, one of the top 3 scorers in the SWAC, the leading three-point shooter in the SWAC, and one of the top 5 assist makers in the SWAC. Welcome to the O&G StrikeZone, none other than Miss Cheyenne McEvans. How you doing, Cheyenne? Welcome to the O&G. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing really well. I just got back from practice, so
we heard you had a late practice, so you're able to work in. First off, now let's clear things up. Where are you? Where are you guys practicing? Are you guys in Tallahassee, or are you already on the road in Jackson?
We're already in Jackson. So we actually got here late last night. So we had a late practice today. We got to sleep in a little bit today because we got back so late. So.
Okay, good deal. So we're good. We were worried. We didn't quite know the details. So there you go, Rattler Nation. The ladies made it out of Tallahassee before the weather. I mentioned, your teammates. I don't know how much of the cold your teammates are used to, but look, you're from Detroit. You played. This is nothing to you. I mean, you've been in much worse.
Yeah, I was joking with him. We actually stopped to get some of the snow off the tires of the bus, and one of my teammates actually went outside and jumped in the snow and was like rolling around, and I was just like, I'm going to stay on the bus because I'm trying to get away from the snow.
Rookies with snow. Tell them, rookies. They don't understand.
Then I was trying to tell them, like, this little, like, maybe an inch, if that. I'm like, this is nothing. Like, we had inches of snow. I was like, people would be operating as normal. Like, everything was like a ghost town. Nobody was doing anything. No movement outside. Roads weren't clear. I'm like, they would have plows and salt trucks, and everybody been operating like normal with this little baby amount of snow.
Tell them exactly. That's how you do it in Syracuse. I know that's two areas, communities that they know how to deal with it.
Yes, and then I was in Buffalo before Syracuse, so it's I've been around all this for a long time. That's one of the reasons why I was like, okay, I gotta go somewhere hot. Like, if I'm gonna leave and transfer, I gotta go somewhere hot because I actually don't like the snow.
Look, man, keep it real. None of us that grew up in the Midwest really like it. So it's like you just either deal with it or you learn how to move to Florida, like half of us do. So
yeah.
Well, speaking of that, tell us about your journey to Florida A&M University. You talked about, growing up, you played high school ball in Detroit. Then you between Buffalo and Syracuse, and tell us how you found Florida A&M and moving to Florida and Coach Gordon.
Well, when I entered the transfer portal coming from Syracuse, a lot of the HBCUs didn't really reach out to me. And in my recruiting, I've had like other schools say like, oh, we haven't reached out. They told my coaches like, we didn't reach out because we think she's going to tell us no. Like, she thinks she's going to tell us no. She's going to tell us no. Cause they knew I had like schools from higher conferences and things offering me. But this time I just wanted something different. And I just thought that, a HBCU would be best for my stop, my final, to complete everything out. So I actually followed like HBCU coaches. I went and did it on my own, followed the HBCU coaches. And as soon as they saw the follow from me, a lot of them reached out immediately like, oh my goodness, like, you're interested in us, we're interested in you. So I followed Coach Gordon, I followed the assistants, and I just waited for them to reach out. When they reached out, I'm like, yeah, I'm transferring and I'm interested in going to HBCU. So actually this time around, I made that like a thing to check off my list. Like, I had certain criteria. Of course, a family environment was one, and I was like at HBCU. So I told PWIs pretty much no, like, no, thank you. This time around, I'm looking to go to a HBCU. So once I told Coach Gordon that, of course, she was like, well, we got to get you on a visit. I took some visits to other places as well, and I stopped at FAM, and I was feeling like the family vibe. So that's pretty much how I ended up at FAM. And like I said, I wanted to go somewhere. If I didn't go to HBCU, it was going to be somewhere hot or somewhere back at home in Michigan. So it checked off the hot box. It checked off the family box and HBCU box. So I just thought that I could see myself doing pretty well here under Coach Gordon and the rest of the coaches. And that's how I ended up here.
Man, I love to hear that. Love to hear that. I'm curious about, so in your, if you think back into your recruiting coming out of Detroit, and you mentioned that there weren't many, well, and I don't know if it was just when you were into the portal, but going back even further in your high school recruitment, was there any interest in HBCUs at that time? Do you have any family members that went to HBCU? I know Detroit, there's probably a lot of HBCU folks in Detroit. What was your knowledge base about HBCUs from that standpoint, taking back to your high school recruiting period?
Actually coming out of high school, just being honest with you, HBCUs were not on my list just because I've always heard like, oh, it's hard to stay focused, it's hard to stay focused, it's hard to stay focused. So I've always been like a focused person, but I also am pretty reserved. So just hearing about it, they made it seem like it was always like just live and just too much going on, like outside noise. And I was like, I have more of a reserved personality, so I don't really know if I'll actually like it. But I thought it might have been too overwhelming just for my reserved personality. But I do have aunts who have gone to HBCUs and family who have gone to HBCUs. So I think that just with maturing, with going to those PWIs and just having that time to be like adjusted and acclimated to the college routine and college schedule, I think that's why I was able to round out my career at an HBCU, because I know kind of how it works and how it goes with everything around. And so the outside noise, like to me, it's really not what people make it seem. It's not as hard to focus at HBCU as people make it seem, in my personal opinion. But I just think that maturity of seeing so much and having so many different experiences throughout like college already has allowed me to come to FAMU at this time, just perfect timing, and be able to accept everything that comes with an HBCU and make it through.
Make it work for you. I get it. Go ahead, Kay.
I'm interested to know, now that you're at HBCU at FAMU, what are some of the things that, thus far it sticks out, makes it unique, that you like, what was fun, and then maybe something that, you didn't expect?
I actually love it. So I don't regret not going immediately, like I said, because I just don't think that I was ready necessarily. But now that I'm here, I absolutely love it. Like, just the people are so embracing. It's just a community wherever you go. You feel like you're included in everything that you do. So at the PWIs that I was at, like we had our basketball family and we had, the supporters who support us outside, but everybody didn't really care to get to know you. Everybody didn't care to just say hi to you when you're walking by. So I feel like on an HBCU campus and even in just the community of an HBCU, it's just like that family vibe from everywhere you go and everybody that you pretty much run into. And what surprised me, I don't really think I was too surprised, because I was really anxious. Like I said, starting out, I was kind of like, I don't know if I'm ready. But when I made this decision, I was ready. So I was ready to take on everything that came with it. So I don't think anything really surprised me, because even like the fun just of the atmosphere at the football games, I kind of already expected that. So I don't really think that it surprised me. Maybe if I did have to pick one thing that surprised me, I guess it might be the support that we get and the other sports, like watching them get, because I knew from me coming from a Power 5, like football games are packed and it's thousands and thousands and thousands of people. So I'm like, okay, I wonder how it's going to be when I go to a HBCU. But the football games were packed and the vibe was great. So I think if I had to pick something, that might have been the one thing that surprised me. But as far as the community, nothing really surprised about that. It's just what I expected.
Okay, now I want you to talk about the team, and now you're in conference play, and just playing for Coach Gordon, who's a basketball legend and so forth. Kind of talk about your experience in terms of this team and how the season is going.
I think we started off playing those bigger Power 5 schools, and I kind of knew what to expect from that. But I think that we did learn a lot, and we grew from those losses that we took against those bigger schools. I think now that we're meshing together and gelling together, everybody's starting to come into their own. Like some games, I think I had like 2 games where I didn't really perform well as far as like scoring wise, but other people around me stepped up and were able to do that. Whereas I feel like in the beginning of the season, we were playing those Power 5s. Some of the games, it was like if I wasn't coming through, it was like, what's going on, y'all? Like, so I feel like I'm just proud of how my teammates have responded and just took those moments of, though, like everybody didn't have those experiences at those Power 5 levels. So instead of just letting that defeat us, I think I'm really proud of my teammates for just taking those moments and learning from them and growing. So then it's like we can all go into conference together. It doesn't feel like, if I'm not performing or whoever's having a hot game, if they're not doing well, or the moments they don't do well, nobody comes with them. I think we had some of those moments in the beginning of the season, and now it's like anybody can have a great game because we've been battle tested and we took those lessons and just learned from them and didn't allow them to destroy us. So I'm really proud of what my team is doing. And even with the games that we lose, like, I mean, you lose some, you win some, you lose some. So I don't really let that. I try to always tell my team, like, don't let that determine what we do moving forward. Like, let the loss just be that temporary, let it be a loss, and keep on going. Like, we had to play some of these teams twice, so let's just make it a better game the next time that we play them. But I'm just really proud of just how my team is persevering through everything. So I like playing with the people I'm playing with now.
And what about Coach Gordon?
Oh, I love
What's
Coach.
like?
It's like my journey with some of my stuff as far as like coaching. I've been through like the ups and downs of the coaching side of things, and Coach Gordon knows in more detail just what I've been through. So I think that she's providing me like a safe haven almost. Like I needed this experience, and I needed just the love. I needed to be loved by a coach, how she loves me just as a player. So I enjoy playing with her, and I tell her all the time, like, I'm just grateful for the opportunity that she provided for me and just the like nurturing side that she provides for me and my teammates, or my teammates and I guess to say. So I love it. I love playing for her. I'm very, very appreciative of her. And I'm glad that I'm playing under her.
Let me follow up. Let me follow up with that, because I get a sense. Does it help when you? Is it how helpful? And I feel like, I guess what I'm trying to say is sometimes I think it may be from the exterior seem like it's hard when you're playing for somebody like Coach Gordon, who she has. I mean, she played for a legend. She's been she's one of the GOATs of women's basketball. That can be, it may seem to be intimidating for some people. But it sounds like there's a lot of that you've embraced about her. And so some things that may be a little bit different. Does she maybe understand you a little bit different than maybe what other coaches did?
Yes, but that's because I think she's taken the time out to understand me and to listen to what I've gone through, where I've come from, good and bad. How I felt about the things I've gone through, whether good or bad. Like, she's just taking that time with me to understand me. So I think that has made it easier to play for her as far as like an intimidation thing, which I never was really intimidated, because even my visit, she gave me down to earth family vibes. So it never was, I guess, hard to play for her, because you just have to be your authentic self, and she's going to be her authentic self back, which makes it a lot easier. But also, I think, yes, her getting to know me and taking that time out also just built a trust. So I know she trusts me and I trust her. So I think it's like playing for family. It's like, it's just, you go out there and you play, and you don't have to face like an intimidation factor when it comes to her, because she's very down to earth.
Nice. Now, I had a chance to see you for the first time at the game against Bethune, and I think you scored 23, had 6. I mean, you filled up the stat sheet, and I told Gerald, who covers, for the Tallahassee Democrat, covers FAMU. I was like, Gerald, have you done a story? I was looking through your bio, because I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't too familiar with your bio, but I'm looking through the bio and I'm telling Joe, I said, Gerald, have you seen her bio? Did you know she didn't play at all last year, and that she's recovering from ACL? And we're watching you, and I'm like, yo, look, I don't know how many years she has left at FAMU, but this is going to be an exciting. And then at the end, we found out she got a whole another year after this year of eligibility. But I want you to tell Rattler Nation a little about your journey, because obviously you're recovering from a ACL. That conference, this is your first conference season in almost like 2 years. So talk a little bit about that journey of recovery. And I could see the joy in talking to you at that press conference, and just the excitement you had of just playing your first conference game in like a year and a half, maybe 2 years, but getting that win and being in the competition of conference play again. But I want you, if you can, kind of share that journey of that ACL recovery, what that's been like, and who it's maybe changed you, maybe as a person, even as a basketball player.
Okay, so some people don't know, I actually broke my leg in 2017. So I was in high school. I think going through that, I was able to come back, and I actually got cleared the first day of tryouts for my high school team. So I think just going through that recovery, it wasn't as hard as an ACL, but it was like a building block to the ACL. So I think going through that, having to persevere through that, prepared me so that when I tore my ACL in college, I also tore my ACL twice, the same one twice, my right leg. So when I tore it the first time, it was just I knew that I could recover from it because I had already gone through something and recovered from it and finished my high. Like I did that, I think, in 10th grade, and I still had a great high school career. So I knew that an injury wouldn't define me and wouldn't stop me from doing what I put my mind to do. So I think that injury prepared me for my first ACL tear. And I was just knowing that, everything happens for a reason. My family is very faith-based. So I knew that everything happened for a reason and I could overcome that and do better things than I was doing before. Then when I tore it the second time, it was a lot of things just going on that weren't really making sense as far as basketball for me. So I think when I tore it the second time, I tell people all the time that really showed me everything happens for a reason, because it made something that I was kind of questioning and trying to figure out on my own. It just put it in God's hands for me. And it was like, it's on his timing and this is making stuff make sense. So it provided me with these 2 years to come somewhere where I'm loved and cared for by everybody pretty much in the city of Tallahassee. They show me support, show my team support. I needed this love and stuff from basketball. I needed that back. So I think getting these extra years prepared me for that. Allowed me to do that. And just knowing, seeing it as it was going on when I tore it the second time, just being able to kind of map out, you know what? Take a step back and don't worry about just being injured, but actually think of the opportunity that you're going to get from this injury. I think that's what allowed me to see it and just be positive about it and overcome it and come back from it. So that's how I ended up, I guess, here. And that's just a little bit about my journey and my story. And yes, I was so excited to play again. It's been such a long time since I actually got to get in the flow of playing, because even when I came back from my first ACL, I had some lingering injuries. So I wasn't really feeling like myself, even for the month that I was cleared and I was back. So recovering from my second one, now I feel more like me. I was able to learn from my first recovery and some of the things that I didn't really do right or didn't focus on enough about strengthening and things like that I could fix in the second time around. So I know that from this second one, I can come back and my knee is stronger, my leg is stronger, and I'm in a place as well. Like I said, at FAMU, I love being here. I'm in a place where I can just perform and get the residuals of everything I put into basketball.
Nice. And you play with a noticeable brace on that right leg, but look, I don't see. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. I have to go back and find film of you previously, but seeing what you do with it on, it doesn't show any sort of doesn't show any ill effects of slowing you down. But you play with it, and I don't see any ill effects. I know I had a question in the chat to ask about your play and your movement with it.
Oh yeah. The brace, when I first decided to wear it, it was because I had already tore it once, and then I tore it again, and I was okay. I don't want to tear it again, God forbid. So I took their advice and put the brace on. But actually, my first time I didn't play with the brace, and when I broke my leg in 2017, I did not play with a brace after that, because I just had the mindset of I don't want my legs to get used to playing in the brace. I want to still be able to do things without the brace and be able to go without the brace. I don't want to become codependent on having the brace on. But it just was one of those things okay, maybe drop my ego a little bit, put that brace on so I can protect myself and not re-injure myself. So that's why I wear it. But I already told myself going into it, if I put this brace on, it still can't stop me. I still do what I want to do, how I want to do it. And I heard people say when I was deciding about the brace, oh, it slow people down. I hear this, I hear that. And my response it's not going to slow me down. It's nothing this brace can do to slow me down. So I think that's just a mindset. I don't worry about that brace. I don't think about the brace. I still dive on the ground with the brace. I still do everything I was doing before. So I think it's just a mindset. I don't want to say that. And I know some people have different experiences and it's okay, maybe the brace does affect them. But for me, I just feel my mindset can overcome me having the brace on. So I know people see it. And I've heard coaches say, oh, they're going to see the brace and think they just attack that leg. Try it. It's not going to stop me. I'm still going to get to the spot. I'm still going to do everything that I need to do and is required to win. So that's why I wear the brace. And I wear it confidently because it's not going to stop me from doing anything that I want to do.
I love it. Awesome stuff. Go ahead, Kay. What do you got?
I'm interested in for this team to reach its ultimate goal, make it to the tournament, win the tournament, get to the NCAA, improve from week to week. What is it that you all need to do better, or you think that we can look at and say, hey, this team wins when we do this well or these things well?
I think communicating on the defensive end, something that we need to work on for being consistent. I feel like when we hit droughts in a game or it's not going our way, we kind of shy away from it. And I feel like that should be the point where we rise to it, and myself included. So working on that, just talking and staying consistent with communication throughout the whole game, as well as our turnovers. That's been like our Achilles heel is our turnovers. Like I said, we included as well. So I just think once we get those two things right, I think we'll turn it up a notch.
Okay. I think those are very two astute points there. But I absolutely enjoy watching you all. I go to all the games, and it's just a joy to watch y'all play. Y'all play with a joy. It's a good game to watch, and you play with maximum effort. So
Thank you.
I thank you.
Hey, Cheyenne, before I let you get out of here, because I want to let you get your rest. Big game coming up. You're on the road. Jackson State. We're all familiar with the big bad team from Jackson and all they've done in the swag. We're not gonna get into it, and I'm not gonna ask you to tell us any tips because there's some Jackson State folks in the chat room, and they'll hear whatever and then they'll run off and try to tell whomever. Yeah, I see you, Jeremiah. But anyway, what I don't even know how to ask this. Give us your perspective on what the team needs to do to have success, not only tomorrow against Jackson State, but then you got to travel over to Alcorn, which is a good team as well. So this is a good test on the road in Mississippi.
I think to come out successful in these games, we have to be disciplined with our defensive plan. I think we stick to our defensive plan and can execute well on the defensive end. I think offense will come. I think that our team has been doing pretty well producing on the offensive end. It's been defensive lapses and, like I said, other than turnovers that have stopped us. But if we can just stick to our defensive plan, I think we'll be pretty good.
All right. Good stuff. Fair enough. We'll keep it at that and keep all the rest of the game plan tight-lipped because, like I said, I know there's some people in there they're just running to put some stuff on the message boards and all that other stuff. Well, hey, Cheyenne, I want to give the last word to you. To shout out anybody that might be watching, anybody that you want to give some love and props to, and we certainly appreciate you coming on the show. Wish you and the team much health and much success this season. Hopefully, you guys can come back with a pair of dubs in the SIP, and because man, we would love to be able to just talk that noise to them. Anyway, I'm gonna give it over to you now. It's your turn. Go ahead and talk to Rattler Nation. They're watching. They're listening.
I just want to say thank you. Like I said, I love being a Rattler. I appreciate everybody how they welcome me in. I guess a shout out to my team, my family back at home, and thank you for having me here. And just keep supporting. Like I said, I love being a Rattler because of the love that the team is getting and that I get, and I just appreciate it. My story is one to know, like it's a lot. So I just feel like that love, it allows me to just be confident when I go out there and play, knowing that I'm representing myself in front of an audience that actually cares to know who I am and to know things about me. So I just appreciate everybody and all the support that I'm getting so far since I've been in Tallahassee. So thank you.
Yes, indeed. And Cheyenne, you're officially a friend of the O&G, and so anytime you want to come on, anytime you got something to talk about or share, you got a home right here. All you got to do is reach out and let us know, and we'll find some time and some space for you to do so. And thank you for the time. Thank you for sharing your story. I knew it was a good story. I could tell. I knew it. So I'm glad we were able to share with Rattler Nation. And go be great tomorrow, man. I know you guys will be. I know you ladies will be. Be great this entire weekend, and we'll talk soon, all right?
All right. Thanks for having me again.
Yes, indeed. Thanks up. Say hi to everybody. Say hi to Coach Gordon and everybody, all right?
I will.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Cheyenne McEvans, baller. That's all I'm